talking franchises here, bud.
All right. Keeping it quiet today. uh Welcome to the show. This is the franchise. It's a low energy affair today because we've got to be careful. The aliens are coming. They're aliens, right?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, I think we see them coming from the sky in that second one. All right. Hey, we're doing A Quiet Place today and A Quiet Place Part 2. I'll be your host for the whole episode, Daniel Ehrenberg. And that's Logan over there. What's up, buddy?
How loud are we allowed to be?
We listen. It'd be really annoying, I think, to listen to a podcast that's that low energy the whole time. So we could pick it up. I think we still live in a pre-apocalyptic world where we are not being hunted by aliens that listen to your voice.
Okay, I love to hear that because that would scare me.
Yeah. It doesn't seem pleasant. That's for
We couldn't
sure.
record this show.
No. Yeah. Can you imagine it's a world without podcasts? That's all I was thinking
Without
about.
the character podcast?
No, but yeah, well, that might be a better world.
Oh, no.
No, but during the movie yesterday, I farted, Logan,
You're dead.
and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm dead." You got to be really careful about farts in this universe.
Was it that loud of a fart?
No, but it might have caused a rumble. Another thing happened. I yawned, and it was one of those like performative yawns, "Ah!" and I was like, "Oh, I'm dead again."
Well, you would know not to do one of those performative yawns in the Quiet Place universe.
I know, but it's a world where you can take no pleasure from yawning or sneezing or farting, and that's so much of my pleasure.
Really, that's a sad existence. I kind of think.
I know. I really I was thinking about it, and it's like this might be the future world I least want to live in.
Wow, I never really thought about that, but it's fair.
Yeah, sound is important, gang. I mean, like you gotta like when you're fucking, you gotta like be. You really shouldn't fuck at all. Like the fact that they're having a baby. We'll get into all that, right?
But you have to take her down to the waterfall. You know.
But what about that baby? Like that now you have to walk around with it in like a little coffin thing.
It is crazy. They wouldn't have done it if they didn't lose their other kid. They're just making up for their last kid.
You know what though? It's
Maybe
the
that's a
future.
sign though. Just
Signs.
you shouldn't have kids.
Well, you shouldn't even in this world, but you definitely shouldn't in that world.
Right. A lot of signs. Metaphor.
I thought I actually thought about signs a lot watching these movies. These movies are very similar to signs.
Right. I loved your review for the second one. I had the same thought.
That you did?
Yeah. When I watched it, I was like, "Oh shit, I forgot about this. This is legit. This is Swing Away."
It totally is. Yeah, we'll get into that when the time comes, I suppose. But first, let's talk about the first A Quiet Place film.
How nitpicky are we gonna be? You think?
I mean, it's a podcast, so we could be pretty nitpicky. I mean, I feel like I could pick every nit I want out of this movie and still give it a positive review.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
I guess that's a good way to say it. Like as much as we may complain about certain stuff, like I do enjoy these movies. They're well crafted and executed, and they're good. But we're gonna complain probably. So.
I will say I think I've been overrating them.
Yeah, probably. That they are a lot of people's reviews were like, these are great for like the first time in the movie theater, and then after that, it's a little.
I think that's right. Yeah, like I remember I saw both of these in theaters, and I remember the experience being cool because like the theater's real quiet.
People were scared to like unwrap their candy.
Yeah,
I only saw the first one in the theater though.
Yeah, I saw the second. Were you afraid of COVID?
I don't think I was afraid. I just wasn't. It just like wasn't a part of my life doing anything at that time.
All right. So let's get into A Quiet Place. This film. Well, the original draft of it was written by these fellas, Brian Woods and Scott Beck. You familiar?
No. I mean, maybe I don't know.
Well, I mean, no one was really familiar until this. Like, they'd written and directed a movie before this, but like it made no noise whatsoever. And then they had the writing credits on this bad boy. Studio didn't want him to direct it. But after this became such a hit, they've been able to direct more movies. They did this one called Haunt.
They direct stuff now.
Yeah, they direct stuff now.
Okay.
They wrote and directed Haunt, which I think was a horror thing. It has like a scary clown on the cover. I know that much. And this past year, they directed a movie I thought was pretty bad called 65.
Oh,
where
yeah.
Adam Driver's running from dinosaurs.
Barely.
Very similar to this though, because it's like a bunch of people. It's like it's not a bunch of people. It's just like a, a man and a young girl with disabilities like surviving in the wild.
What was her disability in that one?
I don't remember, but I feel like there was something. Maybe
I feel like she was like
a-
an animal girl. She like didn't
an
talk.
animal girl.
I feel like she didn't talk, right?
Oh, did he find her there?
Yeah, something like that. She's like the
That's-
little girls from Mama, the movie Mama.
I never saw.
They like they grew
what's
up in the
Mama?
woods. Come on, Andy Muschietti, the guy who made It, Mama.
I don't think
they
I saw
spoofed it in
that.
Scary Movie 5.
All right.
It's like the big thing in Scary Movie. Come on,
I don't think I saw it. I'm sorry.
you didn't see it, but you got it. You know it at least.
Yeah, no. I know what you're talking about now. But
Yeah,
you
it's
know, I
kind of
don't know
good. It's kind
anything
of. Well, you
about
should
it.
watch it. You should watch it.
I don't.
Your girlfriend's probably seen it.
Mama's too complicated. I prefer just the one Ma.
Yeah, that's good
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Now, all right. So here's what happened. Woods and Beck, they met with Michael Bay. They had a meeting with Michael Bay and his producing partners at my favorite studio, Platinum Dunes.
Is that actually your favorite one?
No, it's not my favorite studio. It's just my favorite name for a studio. It's like the perfect Platinum. What does that even mean? But when you look at their little logo at the beginning, it is indeed a Platinum Dune.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, no doubt about it, baby. All right, so Platinum Dunes, they had a first look deal with Paramount, and they brought A Quiet Place to Paramount, and Paramount was like, "I'll tell you what, we'll make this a Cloverfield movie."
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember that?
I think we talked about it in our Cloverfield episodes.
Oh wow,
How
All
this
right.
was, yes, originally kicked around as a Cloverfield.
It was until they finally, like, it was only a pitch at this point. Like they didn't even have a script for it. But once they wrote a script, Paramount was like, "Oh, this kind of works as a movie. Like this might be able to make money without the Cloverfield thing."
Mm-hmm.
So Beck and Woods, they wanted Emily Blunt to play the mom. All right. So they pitched that to the studio. They were like, "That's a good idea." So they sent the script to Emily Blunt. Meanwhile, her husband is like, I want to read your script. Let me read it." And she's like, "Okay, honey."
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, Jesus Christ. And so he's like, "Oh, it's good. I not only do I want to be in it, I want to direct it." And she's like, "That's fine. I want nothing to do with it. So leave me alone." And so he comes in and he's like, Michael Bay, let me do it. And he's like, "All right, whatever." And then since he was now directing, Emily Blunt was like, "Well, fine. I'll probably have to hang out on the set anyway. I guess I'll act in it." So that's how that happened.
Wow. Honestly, that's not how I thought things happened. I thought this was like kind of his idea a little bit.
No. Here's the thing about John Krasinski. He's never had a good idea in his life.
We don't know that. We haven't seen If yet.
I know. We haven't seen If yet.
Have you seen his
But-
other movies?
No, nobody has. Krasinski at this point, before Quiet Place. Let me walk you through my journey with John Krasinski.
Yeah. We love The Office.
We of course love The Office. And in the early days of The Office, John Krasinski, he was like not that good looking. He was like a little overweight.
He's like perfect guy in the paper company. Perfect hot guy in the paper company.
Not hot guy, but he like
He would be if you were at your job, he would be the hot guy at your job.
Yeah, I know, but the hot guy at your job is never actually hot. He's just the best looking guy there.
Well, isn't that kind of the same for Pam?
Exactly. It is. That's why they were perfect for those roles.
Right.
All right. So then,
Not taking anything away from Pam.
no. So Krasinski, he just seemed like a bro, and we all liked John Krasinski. And then he got into shape, Logan. As so many actors, once The Office became successful, he
He was
got into
always in shape.
but he got tan. He got tanned. He got his hair done. He got
He did
into
the GTL
yeah,
lifestyle.
yeah. He got
Gym tan
some.
laundry.
I know. He got muscles, and
Have you seen that funny meme where it was like Jim, Jim, Jim from The Office, and then it was Jim, Gym, and it was John Krasinski working out
no, I
in the
don't know
gym.
memes. Um,
Oh, sorry.
that's okay. So anyway, Krasinski, I was fine with that part of it. All right, but then it's what he started becoming a different person in interviews. That's when he started bugging me as a dude. And it was around the time he started directing. So he made this one brief interviews with hideous men, which I think is based on a David Foster Wallace thing. I might be wrong about that. Um, and he made another one called The Hollers, and there were these indie films, and he really saw himself as a filmmaker at that point. And so I always thought he had a nice demeanor in interviews where he was a little bit self-deprecating and he just seemed like a normal guy that had gotten lucky and become like a big actor guy. And I think it might have been around the time he was in Leatherheads with George Clooney. He's like acting with the Clune Dog now in a film the Clune Dog's directing. And then I just lost track of who he was as a person. He married Emily Blunt. He was a movie star now. He was playing Jack Ryan. And he doesn't have actual opinions anymore. Like you watch interviews with him and it's like, I don't know who this guy is. He's a blank slate. He's just like a handsome dude.
I get what you're saying, but I kind of judge these people's life. Like I don't judge those people as harshly because I feel like I would love for that to be my life where you're an
But I
actor
don't
and then
but you
you're like, oh yeah, I want to direct.
I don't begrudge him his success in the acting or directing realms at all. I just think that he lost his personality.
Yeah, I guess I don't really know him that much as a person.
I don't know, man. It bugs me. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I get what you're
I
saying.
don't know who this fucking guy is anymore.
And he hangs out with Ryan Reynolds all the time. They're
Yeah,
best pals now.
I know. Anyway, that's my beef with Krasinski.
I
But
get what you're
anyway,
saying, but when you were doing that, I was like, this is just like Bradley Cooper, and I fucking love Bradley Cooper. So
no, that dude annoys me too.
I know
These guys lose all sense of self. Like Patton Oswalt, like we talked
some
about
people
him
just
on the
grow
Ghostbusters
up,
episode.
become more
When you,
serious people.
it's they don't need to be. They can be more serious people. It's just it goes. It's like the Breakfast Club, right? Ali Sheedy, when you grow up, your heart dies. She says that, and I feel like these people's hearts have died. Like they don't have any sense of self anymore. They're just a famous guy.
There's that quote at the end of that documentary Overnight where it was like I forgot who it's from, but it was like whenever like you don't become somebody different, you just become exactly what you were all along. Now you're just like able to do it. I forgot that I made the quote sound terrible, but it was something like that. Like you don't become somebody different. You just unlock who you truly were the whole time. A little bit.
So what? Who John Krasinski was the whole time was like a boring dude without any opinions.
Yeah, maybe. And he was
Well,
just
that's a real bummer.
no, I don't think that's true.
Anyway, all right, where were we?
A Quiet Place.
Yeah. All right, so it came out April 6th, 2018. It had a budget of $17 million. All right, pretty low.
Yeah.
and it made $341 million at the box office.
That's a lot.
Oh, you know how we got on that? Because you were like, I thought this was Krasinski's idea, and I said Krasinski doesn't really have ideas. Yeah. I mean, Krasinski rewrote the script. That's the only reason he has a writing credit on this. He wrote the second one by himself, which is by all accounts worse. And he, I read like the only things he came up with for the first one really that were like his ideas were the sign language thing, the paths of sand, and the lights.
Well, I kind of like two or three of those things. What about you?
I think the sign language thing is important. That was a good idea.
But why? I don't understand why one of the characters is deaf. That's like a hat on a hat, I think. It doesn't make any sense. Like they can still have learned sign language in the year. Why does the character have to be deaf?
Well, maybe it was a an advantage for them when this happened because they already knew how to communicate with each other without sound.
Right.
And so having a
Okay.
deaf character was a way you don't have to explain that.
I mean, I didn't care in the first movie. Like I really didn't care. And then in the second movie, like I kind of thought about it. I was like, we have a deaf character. Why? I don't know.
Well, also it's very cool now to have characters with disabilities.
And that actor is really deaf too. So
Yeah,
like I can get away
I've
with
only
that.
ever seen her in these two movies and Wonderstruck by Todd Haynes, which came out before these. That was like about a deaf girl. She was the deaf girl, and yeah, I don't know. I heard a lot of noise when this movie came out. Like she's such an amazing discovery, and I was like, "What? You mean when Todd Haynes discovered her a year before this?"
Well, people talked about this movie too, like it was John Krasinski his first movie. But
Yeah,
he had,
which it isn't. It's his third movie. His first two movies were not successful.
I know. But people do that with Greta Gerwig. Like they don't talk about that movie she made with that Duplass brother or whoever she made it with.
Yeah, it's true. They talk. Joe
Whatever it's
Swanberg.
called. Oh yeah.
Yeah, nights and weekends and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do the same thing with the Safdie brothers now.
And
where,
M.
like,
Night they did
people
forever.
talk about like Good Time and Uncut Gems like it's their only movies, but they made like two or three movies before that.
I only saw Good Time and the Uncut Gems.
Yeah, that most.
What are they
people
doing now?
have.
Didn't they break up?
No,
I think they did.
not as directors, right? I think like one of them's been doing acting stuff.
I thought I saw something like they're gonna go their separate ways.
What, like the Coen brothers? That's not a good idea.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, I hope that doesn't happen. Anyway, um, you know what it probably is? One of them's like excited they're successful and wants to make like Marvel movies, and the other one's like, no.
You're probably right.
Yeah. All right. The so it was huge movie, $341 million at the box office. It came in at number 16 for the year, slightly under Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and slightly over Crazy Rich Asians. I think about Crazy Rich Asians a lot. How come that hasn't been a franchise?
You think it should have been a franchise?
Well, it's based on a book, and the book had like a bunch of sequels.
Crazier, richer Asians.
I don't know. I don't
I
know
actually had the thought this week. What's your favorite like sequel convention? Because this is would you like A Quiet Place 2, A Quiet Place Part 2, A Quiet Place? I do like when ones based on books are Chapter 2, like It Chapter 2. You know,
I don't like that.
you don't like that.
Yeah, look, the sequel to Crazy Rich Asians was called China Rich Girlfriend. And then there's a third
What?
one called Rich People Problems.
I don't like the second one. But my favorite is when they like add on to the first one, like a quieter place, you know,
Or
those types.
aliens.
Yes, Alien, exactly like that. Predators, although that's the third one, isn't it? Predator 2 is
Yeah,
Predator 2.
yeah.
But yeah, those are my favorite types. That would have been fun. A quieter place.
It really depends on the thing. I'll tell you what I don't like: colon.
Yeah,
Leave your colons out of titles.
especially when they like Mission Impossible 2, Mission Impossible 3, and then they went to the colons.
I know. Now it's colon and part 2.
Right. Well, they don't. What's weird about the new ones is it's just Dead Reckoning Part 1. There's nothing after that because it's Mission Impossible dash Dead Reckoning Part 1, all one thing.
That's too much.
They've run
title.
out of stuff to use because they used a colon in the Mission Impossible. Mission.
Yeah, they should go
Impossible.
back. Like when Mission Impossible 2 came out, it was really MI2.
True. Yeah.
They should go
But
back.
that
to
might just be on the poster. Is that just on the poster?
I don't know. I'm drinking a Dr. Pepper. I think it is, but I feel like we referred to it as that in convo. Anyway,
Well, we talked about the daughter. Did you know the son? The son apparently was Hawkeye's son. I didn't know that until I just recently looked on his IMDb.
what Noah Jupe?
Yeah, he's Hawkeye's son.
Well, I knew him from.
Oh wait, no, not Noah Jupe. I'm sorry, Cade Woodward, the little boy who dies. I'm so sorry
Oh.
about that.
Oh, I didn't even look him up. Yeah, he's Hawkeye's. What when they go to the farm?
Right,
Linda Cardellini and shit.
exactly. He's in the television show also.
What television show? Oh, Hawkeye,
one
the
based on
television show.
Hawkeye.
I forgot that existed.
I never saw it. I should have though. It had Haley Steinfeld. I
It
don't know
was
why.
good actually. It was one of the better Marvel TV things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
But Noah Jupe. Yeah. Sorry.
Jupe. He feels like he should have been in Stranger Things, but he's not.
Yeah, he is good.
He's all right.
He's acting a little hard out in that second one. He really was.
He is. He's going for it there.
Seriously.
All right, listen, this movie is nominated for too many awards.
Okay. I bet every sound award there was.
Yeah, so many sound awards. That's what it was nominated for at the Oscars.
Oscars, it's the red carpet, it's the red carpet and the gowns and the tuxes. The Oscars, it's the big night for Hollywood, the red carpet and the golden man.
Sound editing, but it lost to Bohemian Rhapsody because that has music in it.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Not
the worst
mixing, not
movies.
sound mixing. They said fuck the
Just
sound
the editing.
mixing.
Fuck the sound mixing. The editing was good though.
Okay.
All right. Bohemian Rhapsody, one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Continues.
Yeah, I hate
like
that
when someone asks me what's the worst movie you've ever seen, I think of that way before I think of like The Room or Troll 2 or something.
I hate it more than I think it's like the worst movie ever.
No, I think it's the worst movie ever.
I have like real hatred towards it. And it's because Rami beat Bradley that year because that's the Stars Born year. Like
Yeah, you know what's wild
fucking
too?
fuck that.
If you're gonna give sound awards to something just because it had music in it, why not A Star Is Born?
It's so true.
Yeah.
I hate it. Keep going. Please.
Hey Logan.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to get another look at you. All right. The Oscars. Oh, so yeah, that was that. Saturn Awards, of course, it was nominated for a shit ton of stuff because those are the genre awards, you know?
So Saturn is between Uranus and Neptune. Saturn, whoa, sci-fi best of films.
It won Best Horror Film of the Year. I
Okay,
wanna
that's
put
cool.
that out there right away. Beating such films as Us, the first David Gordon Green Halloween, and Hereditary.
That's crazy.
I know.
I think Hereditary is maybe the best movie of the last 10 years.
It's so in another league than this.
What awards is that again? I understand why those people wouldn't vote for it. Oh,
But
Saturn
it's-
Awards.
There's the genre awards.
Yeah. I don't know. That's crazy.
All right. It was nominated for Best Editing, and it lost to Avengers Endgame. Millicent Simmons, the deaf girl, was nominated for Best Younger Actor in a film, and she lost to Tom Holland for Spider-Man Far From Home. It was nominated for Visual Effects. It lost to Endgame also.
Can I ask
And
what
it-
younger means? Because he's an adult in that movie.
Under 18.
He's not 18 in that movie?
I guess he wasn't.
There are like many shots of him like with his shirt off and stuff.
Well,
That seems weird to me.
you didn't know that Larry Clark directed Spider-Man Far From Home?
Who's Larry Clark?
The guy that made Kids.
Oh, why nobody knew that.
Everybody knew that. Are you
Nobody
kidding
knew
me?
that.
People popped for that joke.
Nobody knew that.
Yes,
Come
they
on.
did. Yes, they did.
I don't think so.
All right, and it won Best Writing. How about that? Krasinski's
Okay.
got a Saturn Award for writing.
That's cool.
Yeah. The BAFTAs, of course, nominated for sound, and the lost to Bohemian Rhapsody. The Golden Globes, it was nominated for Best Score. How about that? You know who did the score to this movie?
No.
Marco Beltrami, baby.
Wow.
The guy who did
Scream guy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's what I know
Uh,
him from. That's it, really.
That's what everybody knows him from. He'll be that for the rest of his life.
No, I know him from A Quiet Place. I thought the score was good. I kind of forgot about it.
I like when it gets a little more melodic. There's like a couple little bits that are like tear jerking scores. Like I prefer that to like the
You like at the end when he sacrifices himself, like at that
yeah.
moment?
Yeah. They
Yeah, it's
play that
good.
again in the second one, and I was like, oh yeah.
I forgot it. There being so much score because it's like A Quiet Place. I thought it was like more of like a silent ordeal, but there is a lot of score throughout, and I enjoyed it. That was good.
Yeah, it's not overpowering.
No,
All right, so but that score lost the Golden Globe to First Man. You know, he works with that same fella every time. I think his name is Justin Hurwitz.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I recently heard that the Babylon score on like a commercial for like the NBA or something. Somebody had like the Babylon score. It was the weirdest thing. Somebody out there knows what I'm talking about. They noticed it too. I forgot what commercial it was, but I heard that on a commercial. I didn't know. I mean, I guess you can pay for any song in a commercial, but I thought that was the weirdest
but
thing.
it's always weird to hear songs in like one specific context
Right.
repurposed for things.
I feel like I heard like the Unbreakable score on like a commercial for Nike or something.
I was watching a hockey game recently, and whatever arena it was being played in, they played Cody Rhodes' entrance music, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Wow. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like the same thing I experienced, probably.
Yeah. All right, let's hear that MTV theme. I want my MTV. Good stuff. All right. Emily Blunt, she was nominated for that most frightened performance category.
I thought it was scared as shit performance.
Well, they changed that because can't say shit anymore.
Oh yeah, I forgot shit was canceled.
Yeah. So Blunt lost to Noah Schnapp for Stranger
Snap.
Things. Yeah.
Wow.
Will Byer, am I right?
What did he win for?
Stranger Things.
We're nominating movies against shows?
Yep, apparently.
Oh my god, throw this award show out the freaking window. This is so stupid.
I agree. All right, the people, they make the choice to choose as they see fit.
What if we let animals make the choice?
Oh, I would love the Animal
Animals
Choice Awards.
Choice
Let's see what
Awards.
they vote for. Just like pop them in a room with one of those like Blockbuster voter machines that you used to see in the stores, and like have them vote for the awards. Just see what happens.
Right, we can't just let it has to be an academy.
Yeah, an award voting body of dogs and
Yeah.
cats.
Not dogs necessarily.
and
Yeah, we have to get
I would say monkeys.
only those three though.
What else can it be? Elephants? Just step on them.
Anything, just any and everything. Like
Yeah,
a Noah's Ark of,
Ferrets, rats.
and you have to get two of everything.
Now it's just Noah's Ark.
Noah's Ark, but a voting body.
Yeah. All right. So at the People's Choice Awards, how about these awards? Blunt and Krasinski, they were both nominated for Best Drama Actor. Okay. Because I guess we don't do it by gender anymore because woke.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm like Jerry Seinfeld over here. They lost to Jamie Dornan for 50 Shades.
What are we?
Freed.
This is still the MTV Awards.
No, this is People's Choice.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And also this was nominated for Best Drama, but it lost to also 50 Shades Freed.
Wow, I didn't know that was so over for that.
What?
movie.
Yeah, huge movie. The Teens, they nominated for Best Drama, but it lost to The Greatest Showman.
Oh yes. Take him on home.
Oh shit, he popped.
I bet Hugh brags to John about that. I bet they're friends, right? Through Ryan. He was like,
What?
"Remember when I beat
Oh,
you?"
Hugh. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
Who's Hugh?
Hugh Jackman.
Oh, well,
I think I call people by their first names too much. I think I've gotten in the habit of that through Buffy when we talk about like Sarah and David. Now
I
just
don't
call
do that.
people-
You do that.
I do that, and Laura underscore 94 does, or so one of our old listeners did that, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I do that too much. Sorry.
Okay. You gonna be all right?
Yeah, I'm
Hugh,
fine.
like when you say Hugh, I think of Hugh Grant.
No, Hugh Jackman.
That's my top Hugh.
But when I say Hugh did this, what would you think of?
Fuck Hugh. That part of Curb Your Enthusiasm. That's what I thought of.
No, Hugh did this.
I don't know.
Nothing's coming to mind.
Nothing.
All right.
What the fuck is it?
And Knives Out.
Oh,
that-
yeah.
Yeah, she says
I
Hugh
got you
did
now.
this, but she
Yeah.
means Hugh because Chris Evans' first name was Hugh.
Right. Classic twist.
Mhm.
All right. We don't usually cover this, but I wrote it down because it's pretty significant. The Screen Actors Guild Awards,
Yeah.
Emily Blunt won Best Supporting Actress at the Screen Actors Guild Awards for fucking A Quiet Place. Isn't that wild?
That is wild. I think she's great though, honestly.
Yeah, I know, but she like beat Amy Adams. No, not Amy Adams for Vice. That's fine. But how about this? Rachel Weisz and
Emma?
Emma Stone, both for The Favorite.
That's crazy.
I
I
know.
would have gone Weish. I think Weish is better than Stone in that one.
She's just underrated.
Weish in general?
I mean, in that movie, I feel like Stone's the showier performance, and so is Olivia Colman.
Well, Coleman overshadows both of them, but I did leave that movie going thinking the power ranking was Coleman, Weish. I hate Weish. I'm gonna stick with Weiss, by the way. Weiss, Stone. I do think Weiss is better.
Listen, I hate Vice too. That was a bad movie, but her name is pronounced Weisz,
Yeah.
according to Frank Costanza, the guy who sat behind me in chemistry class that had a big crush on her.
The problem I think also is Emma Stone putting on a voice. She's putting on
doing
the
a
accent,
British accent,
and Vice
yeah.
is just naturally to her, so she doesn't have to. Works in her favor.
Well, but isn't it more impressive? Like Stone,
No, it doesn't work as well.
British accent.
It just doesn't work as well, I think.
He's just using her normal voice.
She's having to do more, so hats off to her, but I don't think it works as well.
All right, fair enough. All right, let's get into the movie, I guess.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
So it starts. It's day 89. We get title cards in this movie. By the way,
I
we
did a little
don't.
math.
What do you mean?
I calculated when day one happened.
Why?
What the actual
How?
day one was.
How'd you do that?
I'll tell you how I did that. We jumped to day 472, and then we get like the next day 473. Like it's like
Yeah.
after they dance with the ear pods in their ear, we go to like
Yeah.
the next day.
In the second movie, they don't give you the days, but since it's just like the next day after the first movie, I kept track of it.
Well, it does say day 474 when they leave. The
Yes,
house.
yeah. But then I was like, oh, now it's 475.
Oh, I didn't do that. Yeah, that's good though. But it's just all like, yeah, right after. I'm actually excited for the next movie because I do think like the best part of that second movie is the opening scene. So I am very excited for all
I
the day
agree,
one
but
stuff.
you know what I didn't know about?
What?
Not only are they making A Quiet Place Day 1, which is in development, coming out in June. It's not in development. It's made already. It's coming out in June. But also, apparently on the schedule for 2025, Logan, is A Quiet Place Part 3.
Oh shit.
So they are going to continue this story as well.
Oh man. So we're bringing back like these kids and
I have no idea. I already think it's weird they brought back the kids because they look 3 years older.
I agree.
Like,
yeah.
The second movie opens with like a flashback to like a year and a half before the events of the first one, and it's like, oh, they're 2 years older.
You can tell. You can tell.
Yeah.
They're like
It's
that
very
age where
clear.
like you hit like a growth spurt between like 8th and 9th grade or whatever.
Like Noah Jupe is a tiny child in the first movie, and he looks like a boy. Like he wouldn't have been able to play Little League in the first movie.
No, I agree with you. But the way I calculated it is it's day 473. We see her mark on a calendar October 3rd. Okay.
Oh wow.
We don't learn.
Right. Because she's like her due date is coming up, so she's marking that off, and she's taking her
Yes.
vitals.
We don't learn what year, but I learned in that moment October 3rd. So I took note of that. Then the daughter visits the little boys where he died, right? And it says from 2016 to 2020. So I knew that day 89 was 2020, right?
Mhm.
So then I knew that day 473 we're in 2021. So if day 473 is October 3rd, then day 89 is September 14th, the year prior. So then day
2020.
one is June 17th, 2020.
Which makes sense because he's playing Little League Baseball.
Yes.
So it all works.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
But I want to keep track of that if they know that for the future movie. Like I want to keep
Mm.
track for the next movie also.
Yeah. Let's see if they're keeping track of that shit.
Yeah. So
All right. But let's go to day 89 because that's where we start, right?
yeah. Best opening scene ever.
You think so?
Since Jaws.
What are you talking about? That's such high praise.
No, I'm just joking a little bit. But I mean, how deep do we want to go in here, like with like the problems? Because I have a million.
I want you to talk about the problems. There are a lot of problems. You know, I'd like to ask a question that John Krasinski likes to ask about these films. What is
Okay.
the weakness?
What is the weakness? Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, there are problems. I kind of just want to talk about it. So they're visiting this pharmacy because the little boy's sick, right? Like he's on the ground, and the little girl and the other little boy are like running around. But it's like the teenage boy is sick, however old he is. Do they have to come here every time someone gets sick to get medicine? This isn't a complaint. I'm just talking right now.
Well, I assume they brought some medicine and now they're back for more. But what's crazy to me is like all the medicine is just still standing. It's still available there. Like I'm not saying like people would have been able to take it all because people would have been killed by these aliens. But these are some of the clumsiest aliens ever. Like they're stumbling over shit. They're falling through windows constantly. How is this convenience store like perfectly standing?
Why are they so clumsy? What do you mean?
You don't know what I'm talking about? These fuckers, they're falling down. They're deaf, you know, and I feel like they're constantly when they're chasing people, like they're hanging on things and then they fall off the ceiling. They there's no sense of aisles, walking through aisles, Logan. They'd be knocking down all this shit. You see what happened to that bar at the beginning of the second one?
Well, I think it's because her like hearing aids are like really affecting them. I think in normal circumstances against another family, they'd probably be a lot better.
What I'm
wouldn't be
saying
stumbling
is
so
that a
much.
million other families would have gone into this convenience store to try and steal goods.
By the way, my first kind of thought is I think this would have worked better as a show. Like there's
Oh
so
wow,
much
yeah, it could be like last. What's that one? I almost said Last House on the Left.
Walking Dead.
No,
Last of Us?
The Last of Us. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Cillian Murphy reminded me of like a Walking Dead character, or like
I
Jesus or somebody like
I
that.
am
you know?
never able to buy Cillian Murphy in roles like this, though. He's got like a beard. Like at the beginning of the movie, it's like Cillian Murphy's got a beard. He's at a little league baseball
Is
game.
that tribal tattoo on his
I'm
arm?
just a dad. I'm just a dad with a beard, and I'm like, you are not. You are.
I don't
a
think he had the
model.
beard at the beginning, did he?
Either way, look, I think he did.
Really?
He is just like a beautiful man. He doesn't like he's Oppenheimer is perfect for him. He should only be able to play geniuses, people with superpowers, people like everyone wants to fuck rock stars. That's who Cillian Murphy plays. Like I do not buy him.
Not
as, like,
people from Missouri.
I'm just a dad.
Yeah, just a day. I thought you meant you don't buy him in post-apocalyptic movies because the first thing I think of him in is 28 Days Later.
No, he's
honestly.
fine for post-apocalyptic movies. I just don't buy him as like I'm just mourning the loss of my son.
Yeah,
Like that is not Cillian Murphy.
yeah. He has to play creeps and geniuses.
Yeah.
But back to the opening scene. I guess I thought it was crazy they just let them run around in the store. First off,
Yeah. I guess they really trust these kids. They shouldn't have.
They
Maybe
really
blame
should.
yourself instead of your fucking daughter.
Like you have to be watching them constantly, I feel like. And they were like, there's a part where one of them's climbing up on a bucket. They're running down the aisles.
I
It's
mean, they have
crazy.
so much trust in their kids. I mean, this is a couple who gets pregnant during the sound apocalypse, and they're just like, I bet my baby's gonna be quiet.
They did have a plan in place, though.
I know, but it's a dumb plan. It's a dumb
I
thing.
know.
They're walking with that baby like all through the woods in that second one, and like the kid's just quiet.
I kind of forgot about that whole thing. That we talked before, like the things I forgot about, and that was one of them. I forgot we like put the baby in a basket or in a box with an oxygen tank. Like I forgot about that whole invention. That's crazy.
Just a baby in a basket.
What was that?
That's from There Will Be Blood.
Oh shit. But that's such a dramatic scene whenever so intense whenever the boy is like having to take the oxygen from the baby, you know, when they're having to share the oxygen.
I didn't care about any of that.
Really, I thought I was impressed by the boy actor in the second movie. I really was. I was like,
Wow.
he is like going so hard in the
Yeah,
paint, as
but
you like to
but
say.
but if you replaced him with who's that kid?
Tremblay.
Tremblay. Yeah, Tremblay would have.
Well, that's
knocked it out of
unfair.
the park.
You can't do that. You can't do
No,
that.
you're right. Imagine if it was Finn Wolfhard. That would have been a nightmare.
Yeah, this kid. I thought I was really impressed.
He
Shout out
wolfs
to
hard.
him.
He wolfs hard in the paint.
He does. He does. Well, so hard. But all right, back to the opening scene. So dad comes in. The boy has the toy, right? The rocket ship toy.
Oh yeah, I forgot that he says like that's how we should get out of here. A rocket. And I was like, that's wild. Day 89. It hasn't even been 3 months yet in this new apocalypse, and we're already like, let's leave the planet. That's how bad it is.
Well, it's a little kid.
I know, but I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah. Well, but once you start up the rocket, you're gonna get killed. You're gonna go with the flames, and then you're gonna get killed by the monster.
That's a good point. Yeah, I wonder if rich people tried that.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, they probably did already try it, and they did.
Yeah.
But all right. So we take the batteries out of the toy, right?
Yeah.
And mom and dad just leave the store with the toy on the counter and the batteries still on the counter.
Yeah. And the girl is like, take the toy. Don't even worry about it. And the kid takes the batteries too.
Yeah.
What are you, a moron?
Exactly. So then daughter gives the toy and leaves the girl or the little boy in the store with the batteries on the counter. Like the mom and the dad forgot the batteries, and also the daughter did.
The only thing batteries are going to do to a toy is make it loud. Now, this kid is already talking about leaving the planet in a spaceship to escape these monsters. He clearly knows the stakes.
Yeah.
This kid deserves to die, is what I'm trying to say. Obviously.
Yeah. They had so many instances to save this little boy's life, and they didn't seem to care. So
It's more the kid than them.
what do you mean? No, I think it's their fault.
No, it's the kid's fault.
It's everybody's fault, but it's more their fault. The little kid is a dumb kid who doesn't know any better.
But he does know better. He knows that they live in a post-apocalypse. He knows about these sound creatures. Why is he trying to get a fucking, like all they do at home is play, Monopoly on soft surfaces.
Here's what I think. I think
You can't have a loud toy. You can't.
I think the little boy thought that the batteries were going to make it light up, but maybe not do any sound. And then he's walking back and he may have hit the button accidentally, and then the noise goes
There's
off.
no fucking way.
You don't think so? I blame the parents way more. Like they know the whole deal and they just leave the toy there and the batteries there.
Listen, I agree with that. They're not good parents, but you need to have some responsibility. I mean, these dudes are not good parents.
And they just let
They're constantly the deaf girl goes off on her own in the fucking second one. They're off on their own in like a fucking grain silo in the first one. Keep an eye on your fucking kids. They're just so obsessed with fucking and bringing new life into the world. These selfish pricks.
I agree. There's that part even in the first one where it seemed like the daughter was gone for half the day, right?
Yeah.
Like like it's nighttime whenever she sees the fireworks going off and she realized she has to get back home. And it seemed like mom didn't even realize daughter was gone. She like mom was hanging out in the baby's old room, right? Like all sad, and then her water breaks.
Yeah.
She wasn't even concerned about where the daughter was.
Not even thinking about her in the
No.
sound apocalypse.
And dad was like, I thought that was kind of crazy too, because I understand like you have to teach the little boy like to be responsible and like how to do some stuff in case you die. I do understand that. But the boy didn't want to go with him, and the girl did. And he said, "No, girl, you have to stay. Boy, you have to come," and like pissed everybody off. in
Yeah,
that
hey,
situation.
hey, girl, why don't you stay in the fucking kitchen? Am I right?
Yeah, that's basically what happened.
That was the vibe. And by the way, I read that part was a Krasinski part.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's exactly what happened. And yeah, he just made everyone upset in that moment. I didn't understand. They are kind of bad parents.
They're terrible parents throughout both films. I mean, even in the second one, like, take some responsibility, Emily Blunt. Like, Cillian Murphy, who doesn't even want to spend time with them. Like, the little girl goes missing and she's like, go find her. Like, gall on this woman.
Yeah.
Ask a dude she hasn't seen in a year and a half to go find her daughter for her.
It is crazy, but
It's
he's
like a
the best guy
suicide
ever.
mission.
I thought he was gonna die in this movie. Didn't you?
I don't know. I wonder if he'll be in A Quiet Place Part 3. They're gonna have to pay him a lot of money now. He's an Oscar winner.
Yeah, she was was she an Oscar nominee before that, or she was
Blunt?
the first time too?
What
Yeah.
was yeah, I didn't even realize that while I was watching this movie. They're both in Oppenheimer.
Yeah, I think we talked about it at the end last week. I mentioned it.
Oh, did we?
Yeah,
Was Blunt nominated before Oppenheimer?
maybe for Mary Poppins. Honestly, was she nominated for that movie? I
Oh,
feel like she got a lot of buzz for Mary Poppins.
she
might not have been,
wasn't.
though.
She wasn't. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm looking at it now. That was her first Oscar nomination for
Oh, wow.
Oppenheimer. But
What
did
what
you
if
know-
she
Did you know that she
overshadows
was
him
in what?
in their relationship? I mean,
Oh, you mean Blunt and Krasinski? I think Blunt was always bigger than Krasinski.
you think
Like,
so?
even this movie, like, it was offered to Blunt, and that's how Krasinski got involved. He's a parasite on her. It's not the other way around.
Right. No, it's true. It's true.
Yeah. All right, what were we talking
I
about?
feel like you were gonna say something, and then I jumped in. I interrupted
Almost
you.
definitely. That's
Yeah.
that's how this show goes.
Yeah. So
Anyway. Oh, I'll tell you what I want to say. Don't you think the deaf girl looks like if the let me start over.
I don't know.
Don't you think the deaf girl looks like if the kid with the face from Stranger Things decided to be trans?
Oh my gosh. How do I answer that one?
You could just say yes.
yes. I guess so. Yeah.
Nothing against either of those two fine young actors. I'm just saying.
Yeah, they're pretty similar look.
Yeah.
Similar hair too. Got like the frizzy
Honestly,
hair.
it's very similar.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So
But back to it being it could have worked as a TV show. There's that moment where he gets up on the silo and he lights the fire, and we see those other fires out in the distance. Like that felt very TV show to me, like television. And also the second movie was very the way everyone was like split up. It felt like that was very much a television show of like Killian and the daughter with those people on the pier. And I don't know.
yeah, everyone's in their own little. There's like an A plot, a B plot, and a C plot in the second one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Only one of them's interesting though.
I don't know.
I feel like if we never cut back to Emily Blunt and the son in the second one, I wouldn't give a shit. Like I'd be
Disagree.
fine if it was just Cillian Murphy and Millicent Simmons.
Disagree. I like that part when she blew up the monster and then the sprinkler system went off and she like hid in the sprinklers. The sound
whatever.
we saw like the sound like messing with its ears. I thought that was pretty neat.
We see that a million times.
I know, but never with like water like that.
The second one just has a shit ton more aliens, if that's your thing. Like the first one, like you don't see him fully for a really long time. Like I forgot there's that shot of like the little arm reaching out and grabbing like the raccoon or something.
I hated that.
Like whatever. You just like they really keep it under wraps, like your favorite movie, Jaws. And in the second one, you just see them constantly because they had a $61 million budget.
Right. And it's an amazing opening. Like we really see him in the opening.
It's baller. The opening's great. It makes me excited for Quiet Place Day One.
Is he directing that?
No.
That's kind of a bummer to me.
What do you mean?
Because I thought part of the first one, the direction I thought was honestly really well done. Like the sense of not atmosphere, but the sense of like geography, I guess, with everything. Like it's like John Krasinski, he's in the car with the daughter, and like their car crashes, and like the boy and Blunt drive past them, and then they're like back up with the bus that's coming out, and like the creatures coming out of the bus, and they like back out, and then we cut back to Krasinski with the daughter, and we see them back out. Like everything is exactly where it's supposed to be. I was really impressed with the whole
I don't know.
thing.
The new one's going to be directed by Michael Sarnowski, who made that film Pig a couple of years ago with Nick Cage. Like, he's a talented guy. I remember it was originally earmarked for Jeff Nichols. He was going to do it. The guy that made like Take Shelter and Mud and shit. And he left creative differences.
Huh. Yeah, but are these directors good for A Quiet Place? Like a sci-fi?
I don't know. I mean, I don't want the guy who made Pig to follow up Pig with A Quiet Place prequel. Like it's just not what I want from these filmmakers. I'm sure they'll do a fine job, but I mean it's definitely a hit or miss. Like sometimes they hire small directors to make big movies and it goes really really fucking well. Like when they got the guy who made Cop Car to make Spider-Man Homecoming or something. But sometimes it's Colin Trevorrow.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't care about Spider-Man.
But I'm just saying, like, that's an indie director that made a successful big budget movie. I mean, I could name other ones if you want.
Yeah, it's not
the Russo brothers or whatever.
I don't blame the director for that movie. I blame everything with Iron Man, which isn't the director's fault. That's the script's fault.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, it's good.
Better than Quiet Place, I'll tell you that much.
Okay.
All right. You want to get back into all right, so it's day 472. That's where we start. And I love Krasinski's whiteboard. It's my favorite thing in the whole movie.
It's really funny. Like it's been joked about since the movie came out.
I know, but it's because it's that bad. Like it stands out because it's in a pretty well made movie, and it seems like way amateur hour.
3 confirmed. What is the weakness?
What is the weakness? It's so funny. Why would he write that down?
Yeah. I feel like you're always just thinking about that. Why do you need to be reminded? Like, oh, yeah, what is their weakness? Why would you ever need to see that? It's so funny.
Also, there's so many newspapers with like information, like it's sound. We see one that says it's sound. And I'm like, you know what's loud? Printing presses.
Oh wow, you think use the printing press against them?
Like no. Like they would never be able to print newspapers in this world. Like newspapers would have stopped day one.
Oh, that's a good point. Holy shit. Maybe they're doing it all by hand.
What?
I don't know how that would happen.
What, they just went back to like the fucking Middle Ages? They've had printing presses since like the 1700s.
That's a great point. How do they do that? All that stuff.
They can't.
Yeah, they would have all died. I didn't think about that.
All right. What do you want to talk about next?
I just honestly have so many questions about how loud is too loud, but I feel like that's just too annoying to talk about, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like they can roll the dice on cloth, right? That still makes a little thump sound, but I guess it's not bad.
Yeah, like we're under that bunker. Yeah, we're having to move like cloth Monopoly pieces, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. Like they're still using dice, but they replaced the pieces.
Yeah, like would the pieces actually be too loud? Like, is that a thing they know and that's why they switched to the cloth, or are they just like doing that for safety? But if they're doing that, why not switch out the dice?
I know. I thought
I just have too many questions, but I feel like I don't want to talk about it. I don't know.
What's your Monopoly piece?
Probably the little dog. I like the little dog. What about you?
Thimble.
Yeah, I do like the thimble too. Is there a hat? I feel like I like the hat.
I think there's a hat. Yeah.
I don't
You know,
know.
when
I don't
I was
play
a
enough.
when I was a kid, I was a real basic bitch. I used to pick the car because
Yeah.
that thing can actually move.
Yeah. I feel like
Yeah.
I did that too. Yeah. There's
Mm.
actually, yeah. How would the hat move? Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dog can move.
Dog can move. Yeah, car and dog are really the only pieces that make sense.
Thimble if you were moving on its side and roll it.
Yeah, but somebody would have to be there to roll it, like kick the can.
car rolled it. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
All right.
Anyway, so something I forgot about the nail in the stair. I didn't forget about the nail in the stairs, but I liked how it was played out that she lifts it in one scene and then it's like the next scene she goes down, she gets in it. It's not like a thing where it's played out too much. In my mind, it was like a Final Destination thing. How it was like, oh, she
It
almost
is
stepped
sort
on
of.
it. She almost stepped. It's not. It's not. Really like that.
Chekhov's nail.
No, she like leaves from the basement with the sack of laundry and she pulls it up. And
No,
then like she
I
runs
know,
down
but
later
it's-
in the movie and steps
But
on
we
it.
see the shot of it, and it's like, oh, someone's gonna step on it. Now, I'm not saying that's like a bad thing, but it's clearly like setting up for somebody stepping on it.
There is a part actually early on in the movie where she comes down to like talk to him when he's working on like what is the weakness? He's trying to figure it out. She comes down to talk to him, and it is kind of an ominous shot of her walking down the stairs. I was like, oh, that's pretty good actually.
He's doing a thing in that scene when she comes down to see him where he's like calling different frequencies. He has a list of frequencies for different countries, and he's trying to call them. And then he tries them, and then he crosses them out. And I'm like, A, don't cross them out. Keep trying them
Good
at later
point.
dates. And B, there were a bunch that weren't crossed out, and he just stopped and went back up with Blunt. And I'm like, keep going. Like the first day I got that list, I would have just called every single one of those frequencies.
This is a great point. That's honestly a thing you need to do every single day. You need to call all of them every single day. You need to just sit down, start it, and not finish until you.
What else are you
finished.
doing? You don't have work. That's your job. 8 hours a day. You're calling frequencies.
Yeah, you're right. It seemed like this is like a thing he'd been working on for months, and he'd only gotten done like 15. Places.
Exactly. He
That-
calls
that-
one a day.
Yeah, that was
Today,
crazy.
Thailand. Yeah.
Totally. And I thought it was crazy. Like the one he marked out was like Tokyo, Japan. It was like, wouldn't that be like one of the first places? But it was, like,
Totally.
number 20 on the list. It was like,
I know.
what? That's crazy. Is that like number one most population like ever? Right?
Yeah, it's up there for sure.
That was wild to me.
Very dense city.
Yeah. Great job there. That was good.
All right. What's next?
What is the weakness? By the way, I thought in the second movie we learned like more of there's like a moment where one of them drowns. And I was like, oh, the weakness is water.
But that
But
pissed
that's
me
not even
off.
touched
That
on,
pissed
really.
me off because there's a moment in the first movie where they're in the basement, which is beginning to flood. Okay. And we see one of the aliens very gracefully dive underwater and start swimming around underwater. And then it's like, where'd he go?
I think that's okay. Like it's not that high.
But they can swim. They can clearly swim.
I don't think it's swimming as much as it's just like moving around, like using the objects in the room to move itself around underwater. Maybe.
Absolute bullshit.
Like using the like counters and stuff to move around.
All right, you're very kind.
I am very kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about it in the first movie. I don't know. It doesn't
Because
really
I thought
bother
it was cool. It reminded me of like the Alien and Alien Resurrection swimming underwater. Like that's like the only cool thing about that movie.
me. I didn't see it.
And well, whatever. And so like I was like, oh wow, that's cool. It dives down. And then like we're told in the second movie, dive. Like that's the way to get away from them.
Well, no, that was the way to get away from the people.
No, I know, but like that in that moment they realize that the aliens like they have to be on the boat. They can't be in the ocean.
Right. Yeah, right. That's really kind of the end of that. Like we don't I mean, I guess it'll be in the next movie like, oh, I guess they drown
But they don't. They swim according to the first movie.
according to I don't think they're swimming so much.
They
I think they're just walking around. It's really
no,
shallow.
he goes underwater and he waves.
It's crouching.
It makes no waves whatsoever. Like I said, these are clumsy fucking aliens. It'd be making splashes.
I can walk around in the shallow end of the pool completely submerged.
You are not a fucking alien with giant arms.
I guess so, but they can like contort in weird ways where it doesn't.
Logan, you are wrong about this.
Yeah, I was so nitpicky. I don't know why I'm fighting this, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm doing this.
But yeah, what is the weakness? We do find out that her earpiece fucks with them.
Right.
What is
And it's
that
like-
supposed to be? Is it a cochlear implant?
Yeah. You just want to say cock? Is that why you said it?
No.
I think it is kind
of.
of said that. Is it? I've heard
No,
both ways.
It's cochlear because it was just a season of The Bachelor and one of the contestants had a cochlear implant. She talked about it.
Cochlear or cochlear?
Cochlear.
Okay.
It's not
Yeah,
like nuclear.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of when you said that, because a lot of people say that, but I thought it was nuclear. But
No, it has
cochlear.
ear in it.
Yeah, I know. I guess I got it confused. But yeah, it is. It's one of those things. That's a nice moment when she realizes like he'd been working on trying to fix her thing all along. But it's kind of weird. Like the whole thing in this movie, she thinks her dad hates her, and then it's revealed, oh no, I actually love you, daughter. It's like,
I've
yeah, no
always
shit.
loved you.
Yeah. I thought about cutting together him saying, I love you. I have always loved you with Shawn Michaels when he says, I love you.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I love you. Whatever he says.
I love
Or,
you.
yeah. He says like, I love you. I have always loved you. And then sweet chin music. That'd be
You
funny.
should throw in Bradley Cooper with still. I need to take another look at you. It's a similar
could-
kind of moment. What do you want to talk about?
Do you like the
Drowning in
waterfall?
Rain? I mean, that apparently was also a Krasinski bit. The waterfall.
Okay.
It's all right. They go hooping and hollering. I just don't understand why he didn't bring the daughter if she wanted to go.
I had problems with that too. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sort of my question though is like, he says like the sound is too much. The waterfall, like we can be as loud as we want because but wouldn't the aliens always be at the waterfall because the waterfall is like a place of loud noise?
Here's what I thought about. I feel like the aliens probably initially spent a lot of time at waterfalls, and then they were like, no, this is just a part of this planet. This is like a normal sound to this planet. And
so they checked
they
it out.
wouldn't
They
be.
already know.
But then because their ears would get attuned to the waterfall as being normal, if someone was hooping and hollering around the waterfall, I feel like they'd hear that.
Yeah, that's abnormal. That noise.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I guess just don't think about it.
These are movies you can't think about at all.
And kind of the first time I saw it, I didn't.
Yeah. These
And
films,
I don't. It didn't.
these
go
films
down.
are a house of cards that
don't
could
really
be
have-
toppled over any moment.
I'm not gonna like give it a 2 or anything. Or even,
I'm
I
going-
might not even
I'm-
give it a 3.
I'm going down a grade on both of them.
You're gonna give both a 3?
No, I had Quiet Place 1 at a 4. And I'm moving it down to a 3. I had 2 at a 3 and moving it down to a 2.
Oh, that's harsh.
Sorry.
I don't like that.
Mm.
But anyway, so I like the invention that he had where the lights, you can switch the lights to red whenever there's danger. I thought that's a great moment in this movie where she flips the lights.
Yeah.
She goes into labor.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It was
That's
good.
really cool. And I love the shot. I think it's really well directed and stuff.
All right. I think Krasinski fan number 1 over here.
Yeah, who knew? But yeah. And that's cool. Like when they show up and they realize the lights are red and they're like, oh shit. That's easily the best part of the movie when she gives birth, right?
Oh, yeah, I mean that is really intense.
She is
and,
amazing.
And Blum is great in that. Yeah, I mean, I feel like when the Screen Actors Guild voted for her to win that award, that's the scene they were thinking of.
And when her foot goes through the nail, I think she's great there.
Yeah.
Her limp is so good. It really looks like her foot is fucked.
Oh, you know what? I will say Jupe, you were saying he was so good in the second movie.
Yeah.
I was impressed with him in the scene where he gets caught in that bear trap and he's got to be quiet.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And his voice is he's like at the age where his voice, I feel like he went through puberty between the last movie and this movie, or it seems like he's kind of mid puberty in the second movie, and his voice, it's really high pitched and you can feel the pain like in his voice. It's like, it's really scary that his scream in the second movie.
Please. Please.
You really
Yeah.
feel it. This kid.
You do. Good
Possible
job, Jupe.
MVP, that kid.
Come on.
I don't know. But yeah, so she gives birth. My question: when babies are born, aren't they? Don't they come out screaming? Typically?
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
But
Here.
they know that their kids they can trust their kids. to be
Why?
quiet. It's
They had
so
one that died because it couldn't be quiet.
Bro, it is so stupid. Are you kidding me? This high stress situation, like giving birth in a bathtub while you're being stalked by an alien. There's no way this kid is quiet.
It's a good moment whenever he sends the boy, like, you have to go light off the fireworks to save her.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
like
great.
that.
Her scream as soon as the fireworks go off. That's so good. I forgot
Yeah.
he thought she's dead. Like, he comes into the bathroom, like she had moved.
Right,
from the
it's just
tub
a
to the
bloody
shower.
bathtub.
Yeah, he's like, oh damn it, she's dead. And then like her handprint comes up. She's like, oh, I'm alive. Like, how did he
that
not
is
hear?
such a weird horror movie thing too. Like, there's no way she would have just like cracked open the shower door and been like, "I'm in here."
That
She
whole
would've
thing.
Bad, like put her hand on the door really hard, just so like
Yeah.
the audience jump scares.
Exactly. There are like 10 questions just in that one scene. But
Yeah,
did you like the cornfield? That's the
I like
science part
that
of the
shit.
movie.
I like. Oh, the cornfield, I can take or leave it. I thought a lot about Children of the Corn.
Oh, the silo, you mean?
because it's a lot of children running through corns. But
That's true.
But yeah, I like the grain silo thing. I find that scary to drown in grain.
Yeah, of course. Is that a part in the show Silo? Do they have to deal with the grain, or they emptied the grain out? Probably.
No. It's there's no grain in that silo.
Okay.
But there is a part in that movie, Pontypool, that I told you about recently. It's sort of like a Canadian zombie movie where it takes place in a radio station the whole time, and there's a scene where they're like on the phone with somebody who's hiding in a grain silo, and it's almost like Krasinski or these writers like saw that movie and they were like, you know what we should do? Show that.
Yeah. There's a part in Jigsaw. Wait, Saw 8, whatever. Yeah, Jigsaw, where they're in a grain silo and like there's like knives falling on them or some shit.
Of course there are. Or it's
Good
a
stuff.
grain silo filled with hypodermic needles.
Yeah, I wish. Not quite. But what about the part where there's that old man? Like, it's like we haven't had a big scene in a bit. We got to have this old man scream.
Yeah,
in the woods.
that's when they're on the way back from the waterfall, right?
Right.
And it's like what had happened? I think it's like his wife had
died.
just been killed or something. Like she was like freshly killed, and so it was like suicide by alien, sort of like how some
Right.
people do suicide by cop.
Exactly like that.
Yeah,
So yeah,
but it was a dicky thing to do. You should have waited till like those other two guys left.
yeah, I thought so too. And John was like begging him. He was like, "Please don't do it right now. Let us." And he was like, "Bah!" Just screamed, died.
Yeah.
And like he got murdered in front of that little boy. That little boy had to be witness to the death like that. I thought pretty uncool by that guy.
He's already seen like his brother die and shit.
He didn't.
been
Old man
through
didn't
it.
know that.
I guess you're right. Yeah.
It's just an innocent little boy.
Let me just traumatize this little fucking kid.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
don't know. So then what happened? I don't know. The end of the movie.
Yeah, the end of the movie.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Where he dies.
He certainly does, which I wasn't expecting. And do you think that the only reason he did the day one part in the second one is so he could be in the movie?
I had the thought, but I don't think so.
I also noticed he took the "and" credit in the second
No.
one.
That's funny. I love that.
Yeah, but hey, Blunt first build in both these bad boys.
That's good.
Yeah, build over Krasinski in the first one and over Cillian Murphy in the second one.
Yeah. I assume in the third one. Is Killian back for the third one? Are they both?
I
just
don't
back?
know. I feel like they should.
What's it
but,
called?
like,
The Quiet Place 3?
it's part 3. Yeah, like it's gonna be the 4th movie. But
Nobody's
it's a
on.
Quiet
Yet.
Place Part 3. They don't have anyone like attached.
No writers, directors, actors. They have nothing.
That's crazy. It's just like a title and a release date. That's how movies get made now.
Yeah. Alright.
That's fucking terrible.
Well, I kind of like that more than like the how they like planned out Marvel. They're like, we have like it was like I remember like 2015 Comic Con. We were like, we have movies until 2021. Look at our slate. It's like
Yeah.
that is tiring.
But that that was the same thing though. It's because they weren't like saying like who's making him and shit. It was just like, and in
thought they did know that.
2021, Blade, and you're like, all right, I guess they're making a Blade movie.
But we didn't know who. I thought we did know like who the actors were and who the directors were.
I think for the ones that were like coming out soon, but not for most of them.
I miss like I want for like a writer to or a director to experience something in their life, right? And then for them to make a movie about that.
Yeah, I would like for
bit of
writers and
spontaneity.
directors
That'd be
to
cool.
be inspired, you know, just that nothing's inspired by anything anymore.
I know. I feel like I feel like it's annoying to complain, but it's a real complaint I have. So.
It's a problem. Look, there's it's not like movies have gone down the tubes. Like it's so much easier to
No.
make independent films now that like there's like more good movies coming out per year than there ever have been. But Hollywood is a mess.
It's a mess. There's this new one. I saw the TV Glow that everyone's going crazy about. I want
Yeah.
to see that.
Yep.
Anyway, I never saw that person's other movie. Did you see that?
We're
one?
all going to the World's Fair.
Yeah.
No,
I heard
it-
mixed stuff, but
yeah, I heard mixed stuff too. But maybe if I like this TV Glow one, I'll check that one out.
it has the Keanu girl from Bill and Ted 3.
Oh,
The one that was doing like the Keanu
yeah,
impression.
yeah. She was good.
She was good, yeah. Yeah, she was good. She was like the most committed one. We were talking. Wasn't the
Yeah.
other one was actually the Ready or Not girl? I forgot about that.
Samare.
Samara, yeah. Samara.
Remember when she walked down that alleyway in Canada?
Yep. I thought it was New York though, but
No,
they fooled me.
Did not resemble any alleyway I've ever seen.
Oh.
Okay. Let's talk about what you're gonna give this movie.
All right. Oh, but at the end, did they ride all the way home with the car in neutral?
What are you talking about? Oh, you mean the
Dad screams and they're in the car and he puts the car in neutral and they roll off and then they show the shot of them arriving home in the car and they like stop down like by the mailbox and run inside. Did they drive? Were they in drive like using the motor or
I
were
don't think they drove very far.
I assume a car being on any kind of noise is more than a Monopoly piece. I assume that would be a problem.
Right, but Krasinski distracted him.
For a second, we cut back to like it's like the sun.
I think they were like seconds away from the house.
I kind of have problems with that.
Well, listen, if you want to have problems, I don't give a shit. But I would that one didn't bother me.
Okay.
Anyway, so I'm going down from a 4 to a 3 on this bad boy, and you know, I talk a lot about how I don't give a shit about like people that say like movies they need to be seen in theaters. I'm like, I'm not a purist that way. To me, if a movie doesn't work equally at home, then that makes it a worse movie than other movies. Okay, and that's how I feel about this movie. It's designed to be seen once in a theater, and if you see it more than once and not in a theater, it doesn't work as well.
I don't think that that's necessarily true. I think my theater going experience was great. Everybody was really they loved the bit.
Yeah, it convinced me that it was a 4 when it's actually a 3.
But I could see it going terribly where people are talking throughout and they're just eating really loudly, slurping their drink, and it could go poorly. I think what you need is just silence. I think you could watch it at home and it could have the same effect if you
And
if
it
you let
did.
it.
Like I did.
Right, I'm
It
not saying
just
you
didn't hit as hard for me.
I think more it's more the experience of the first time, maybe.
I don't
more
know,
is
man.
different.
Like when I saw Hereditary in theaters, like everyone was completely silent through that movie too. And I saw it twice in theaters, and it was the same way both times. And I've seen it on video or whatever, like streaming, and it's still just a great movie.
Well, you watch that again and you appreciate like the filmmaking in every single scene.
Right. There's nothing really extra in this movie. Once like you're used to the gimmick, the movie's kind of just okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. The sound is the MVP. If we're doing performance, Blunt's the MVP.
Yeah, I agree. Who's the LVP?
I'll stick with a 4. I don't know. I think it's I think it's better made than most movies. I'll bump it to a 4. I don't want to just give it like an average grade. LVP, I don't know. The son who dies.
Yeah, I was gonna give it to him too.
Yeah, I don't want to go the other people.
Yeah. All right.
Ryder Strong gives it a 4. Paul Scheer gives it a 1.5.
Wow, Paul Scheer, not a fan of A Quiet Place. Very interesting.
I thought that was wild. Why does he feel so strongly?
I don't know, man. It's odd because Ryder Strong's usually the one who feels strongly.
Right.
You know,
Usually. But no.
as is his namesake. But yeah, Scheer, not a big fan of this bad boy.
Yeah, I thought that was wild. He was thinking, how did this get made? Probably.
He gave it half a star.
Maybe he was going to be the lead, and then John stepped in, so he's pissed. He hates this movie.
Can you imagine Paul Scheer's
That'd be so movie? That's our new fan fiction.
I love it. I love it. Okay. Let's get into the second one, right? Here's another interesting thing I found on by the way in the ratings. Paul Rust. You know Paul Rust?
Yeah, I do.
He gave it a 3. But I also follow his wife, Leslie Arfin, and she gave it a 5. So I bet they had some arguments in their household.
Or maybe she just let him have it. Didn't want to argue.
Probably.
Some people probably don't care to argue as much.
I don't know. If you're like both working in the entertainment industry, I feel like one of the things you'd talk about is movies.
It's true. You're right.
Yeah. What's that cat doing? So they made the second one really fast. It was all done and it was scheduled to be released March 18th, 2020. But you know what was going on in early 2020, right?
No. What happened?
There was this huge pandemic. And so no one was going to the movie theaters anymore. Do you remember that?
No.
Come on.
Not even a little bit.
Jesus. All right. So it was pushed back, like way pushed back. It didn't come out until May 28th, 2021. Because they weren't like, Warner Brothers, they started putting shit out for streaming and stuff. And Paramount was like, no, we're just waiting it out.
Yeah, it's a great plan.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it did turn out to be good for box office because this movie had a much higher budget of $61 million, but it made 297.4. It was number 9 for the year. It was in the top 10 there. Made slightly less than No Time to Die, the Bond movie, and slightly more than Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Shout out McKenna.
Shout out podcast. So the Oscars didn't take this one into account, but others did. So anyway, when they were trying to make this movie, like Woods and Beck wanted nothing to do with it. They were offered to like write it, and they were like, "We want to move on to other projects that we can direct and shit." And apparently, they got some other pitches from writers, but all the writers were bringing in like real franchise centric shit, like with like origin stories for the aliens and stuff.
A beam in the sky.
What?
That'd be good. I don't know. That's like in like Suicide Squad and stuff. They used to do that in like the mid 2010s. They would always have like a light beam in the sky, like the Avengers.
And the Ninja Turtles one had that.
Exactly. Great example.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. But so then they like Krasinski was like, I'll just write it myself. And because he wanted to focus back on the family and shit. So let me tell you about the awards.
Please.
Saturn Awards, they nominated Blunt again. Well, actually, they didn't nominate her in the last one, but she was nominated for this one. Best Actress. She lost to Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once, because that's a genre film, and it won Best Picture at the Oscars. So that was kind of a juggernaut that year.
Yeah.
It was nominated for Best Horror Film. Didn't win this time. It lost to The Black Phone. And I gotta say this: Quiet Place 2. As many problems as I have with it, it's better than The Black Phone.
I hated The Black Phone.
Me too. It was
I
boring.
fucking hated it.
Millicent Simmons and Noah Jupe, they were both nominated for younger actor this time,
That's cool.
but they lost. They lost to Finn Wolfhard for Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Why didn't they just give it to McKenna for this? For that?
I know.
Oh my
I
god.
know. All right. BAFTA's nominated for sound, but it lost to Dune.
Mm-hmm.
And let's hear that MTV theme one more time, please. I want my MTV. So Millicent Simmons, remember Emily Blunt was nominated for Best Frightened Performance?
Yeah,
This time they nominated the deaf girl.
that's cool.
Yeah. So she lost to Jenna Ortega for Scream 5.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
well. Why not the
And-
son? Why isn't the son nominated here? He's better.
Well, he got, younger actor, which he wasn't last time. So at least the Saturn Awards agree with you.
Yeah. Wait, you said Jenna won or Jenna was just nominated with her?
No, Jenna beat her.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. The People's Choice Awards, they nominated this for Best Drama as well. And it lost to Cruella.
Is that good? I feel like I heard that was good.
It has moments.
All right.
All right. Platinum Dunes, let's talk about it. Number 2. We start at day 1, baby.
You said Platinum Dunes. Let's talk about it. That was so funny.
Well, that's how it opens.
Yeah, you're right.
Anytime I see the Platinum Dunes logo, I gotta write that down on my notes.
Mm-hmm. It's like
All
when I
right.
write down like the opening credits to Buffy,
yeah,
an angel.
yeah. All right. So you know what? I hadn't seen the first movie since like theaters. When I saw the second movie in theaters, it'd been a few years. So I caught a few things that I missed the first time around. Like, for
Oh, wow.
instance, it's the same grocery store, Logan.
Oh, you didn't notice that?
No, I don't think I noticed that the first time I watched it. They even passed by that rocket thing, and I'm like, that thing.
You're cutting out.
What?
Your voice just started cutting out.
Well, I mean, it's probably just my internet or something. I wasn't
Oh,
doing
no.
anything.
No, I hear you. You
All
said
right.
we cut with the rocket, and then you started cutting out.
Yeah, we see the rocket ship. Krasinski walks by that rocket toy in the aisle, and it's like, ooh, that thing's gonna kill your kids someday.
Yeah, he had no idea.
Yeah,
In 88
he didn't
days.
know. And he was just Krasinski, boy. He's a pro at shopping in this convenience store. Did you notice he was grabbing shit off the shelves, not even looking?
Really?
Yeah,
I noticed he walked in with a real purpose. Like he headed right to the back, got his shit, headed right to the counter.
It's
And
like
then-
this guy's made this routine in this grocery store a million times, dude.
And he knew the guy working there because he told
Yeah.
him like, "Hey, I'm just gonna leave. Like, put it on my tab," and then he just walked out.
yeah.
He didn't pay or anything like that.
And he even asked like, "What's going on the TV there?" I think some kind of bomb, maybe.
Yeah, they don't know what's going on, but it was
Yeah.
a rocket ship blowing.
But
up
he's
or
late.
whatever.
It's because he's late to his kid's baseball game. It's already the 5th inning, and there's only 6 innings in little kids' baseball game.
Oh wow, holy shit!
So like, he missed the whole fucking game, as far as I'm concerned. So he's a shitty dad from jump.
right.
He doesn't
Uh,
become a shitty dad in the apocalypse.
And when he's there, he doesn't even care. He's more interested in asking Killian about his radio because he's listening to another game on the radio. He's like, "What's going on in that game?" I'd
Yeah.
rather listen to that game than my
And
son's game.
also, like, if he's in such a rush, I mean, the convenience store seems like it's on the same block as the baseball diamond. Go finish the game and then stop at the convenience store after.
I think
He
they
doesn't
need
know
snacks
there's
for
going to
the
be an
game.
alien invasion. But for what? For the 1 inning he's going to attend?
He didn't know it was so late in the game. I thought it might be the 3rd inning or the 4th inning.
Maybe.
But it is crazy because his son's like about to be at bat because like mom's giving him a pep talk like just breathe, and he's like, "What's going on the radio, Killian?" Like he's not even paying attention to his son.
It's
Kind
true.
of fucked up.
This
But-
guy sucks. Lee.
Yeah, Lee. I didn't even know his name was Lee in the first movie.
I didn't either.
I guess
was
'cause they
like,
don't
wow,
say it,
I
it
guess
makes
it
sense.
was Lee.
Yeah, his name is Lee. God damn it.
And then for the rest of the movie, I got that Tenacious D song called Lee stuck in my head.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I've never even seen Rush Hour 2, but there's like a famous part in the credits where Chris Tucker keeps fucking up because Jackie Chan's character's name is Lee, and
Yeah.
Chris Tucker keeps going, so Jackie, what are we doing?
Oh,
Jackie.
yeah.
And Don Cheadle's in that movie. And in the scene, he says to Chris Tucker, he goes, "His name is Lee. God damn it!"
We would love to see that. We would love to see that, Jack. Jack, we would like to see that. We'd like to see that. Now, Jack, we would love to see that. Wouldn't we love to see that?
His name is Lee, goddammit.
Lee, we would love to see that.
Honestly, the bloopers of Rush Hour are better than Rush Hour.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, that's true of like every Jackie Chan movie. Like you watch those movies to get to the bloopers.
but when he gets it right, that's when it's great too.
Nah.
When he gets the
All right.
stunts right, that's awesome.
No, of course. But it's fun to see him like try to work it out.
Yeah. No, you're right.
All right. What? So the baseball game, it goes all right. How does
Yeah.
Jupe do? I don't remember. How's
I
that
don't even think
at-bat
he-
go?
I don't even. Does he even get up there?
Yeah, he does because he takes like a ball at first and then a strike. He seems afraid of the ball. He's stepping in the bucket. I'm like, this guy's dad never taught him how to like, just keep your eye on the ball. But then like we see that big thing flaming through the sky, and I guess like the umpire calls the game.
So he never got a hit.
Yeah, but you never got an out either.
Right.
It's a wash.
It's a wash.
Yeah.
What do you think John Krasinski played? Do you think he played any sports?
I bet he played baseball. He looks like a baseball player.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. He doesn't look like he played basketball. I don't really see him as a football player either. I could see
Wait, but you
baseball.
know what? He probably did play basketball because in that basketball episode of The Office, he's pretty good.
You're right. You're
And
right
shot
about
like
that.
a documentary. So you're seeing, they're not like cutting.
Yeah, you're actually right about that. You think he's like a small forward, maybe?
Yeah, it might have been a small forward, a point guard.
Yeah, that's a hilarious episode.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Steve Carell is the greatest comedy actor ever. Like,
I wouldn't go
physically,
that
too.
far, but I think Steve Carell as Michael Scott is one of the great comedy performances ever.
Isn't it a thing he never won an Emmy or he never won like one of those big awards for it?
I thought that he had.
Maybe. I thought it was like I learned a trivia once, like he never won. I was like, what the fuck are they doing?
Is that true?
That's what I thought. I mean, I
I'm
could
gonna look
easily
it
be
up right
wrong.
now.
I know
Yeah,
less about TV.
I feel like it was either that he won every year or that he never won. A
Oh
single time.
shit! So I'm either way off.
No. You were right though. He never won. He was nominated.
Oh
in
come on!
He was nominated in 2006, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and 11. He never
Wow.
won. Yeah.
Who was he losing to? Were they that good?
For best actor in a comedy series.
Yeah.
Who's
Who
up
could possibly
around that time?
who've been better?
I'm gonna look it up right now. Let's go through it. Best
What if they're-
actor comedy. This is an episode of Award Bros.
What if they're gonna do Dwight Schrute instead? They're just like Dwight's
No,
better.
he was nominated in the supporting categories.
Oh right. Is it who's on? Oh, is it Arrested Development? Maybe.
Could be. I'm gonna tell you right now. 06, he got beat by Tony Shalhoub for Monk. 07, he got beat by Ricky Gervais for Extras. And then 2 years in a row, he lost to Alec Baldwin in 30 Rock. And then the next 2 years in a row, he lost to Jim Parsons for the Big Bang Theory.
Damn. I wonder which one hurt the most.
That one.
But it's got to hurt losing to Ricky
You know
for
what?
playing his character.
Jim Parsons won that award 4 times in 5 years.
Wow. We were just like, he's the best. But there's
This guy, no one in the world is funnier than Jim Parsons.
What the
in
fuck are we
Big Bang
doing?
Theory.
Oh my god.
Oh, this world's a nightmare. Let me off. Okay. Yeah, we talked about this part. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's an awesome scene. Great scene.
Yeah,
Great opening.
great. And it held up,
Yeah.
and it was shorter than I remember it being. I was like, oh, I could have watched that for another 20 minutes.
Pretty sure it was the first 10 minutes of the movie. Like I'm pretty sure like 10 minutes in we go to the day 474.
Yeah, but I think I remember it being like the first 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, it's pretty short.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, then we go to day 474, and they're like venturing forth. They're leaving the premises of the first movie, and you see them like get up to where the sand stops. Was this sand all like just like Krasinski's dropping sand like every couple days?
I believe so. Yeah, there's
I'm
one
like,
part in the
maybe
first one we
maybe
see.
drop less sand and call more frequencies, bro.
Yeah, maybe he should have taken at least like one day and done that. Seems easy.
All right. All right. So yeah, then
I did like whenever they
Yeah.
are moving out. I liked all the shots of them like moving out, and we see like an arm, like the arm of the alien, and we see like
Oh,
its
yeah.
legs, and it's like we see its dead body in the background.
all the town stuff, like all the stuff in town in the first one, and in this one, they shot in Beacon, New York, which is like a little bit upstate, and it's this really beautiful like little hamlet. I once spent a lovely day there, Logan, with a married woman.
Oh wow, that sounds amazing.
It was.
Wow.
But anyway, so they leave the farm area and they come like the first place they come across. There's like a sniper and a bear trap, and Jupe gets bear trapped, and turns out the sniper is Killian Murphy, who they knew.
Yeah, we knew. I wasn't really sure like how close they were, but she seemed to like they were friendly. I guess she was like, we knew each other back in the day.
I mean, he knew a little bit of sign language, to communicate with the girl. So they must
I think
have
he
like
over time in this world he picked up on that.
no. But I'm saying dive. He knew that he asked her like, how do you say that in the first one? So he's like comfortable interacting with these kids. I bet they had like barbecues together and shit.
Yeah, you have to think so. You have to think so.
Yeah. You think they ever swung?
Swung?
Yeah.
Oh, it was like swingers, like you mean?
Yeah. No, like Krasinski fucked his wife and Killian fucked Blunt.
Yeah, like they're
once.
swinging. No,
You don't think that happened?
I don't think so.
Yeah, they seem like pretty conservative family. I mean, they even like did grace. We see them eat dinner at one point. They said grace.
I think in that world you'd turn to religion probably.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. I think
I mean,
could see people
why
doing
would
that,
you
though.
turn to religion? Like,
I'm still
then,
alive.
then you,
Thank
but
the
then you have
Lord.
to like reckon with the fact that like the Lord created these aliens.
But he left you alive for some reason.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
Yeah. All right. So they try to use the radio.
Yeah, Beyond the Sea.
Yeah, I hate that song. I just wanted to
Really?
say I hate that song. Yeah.
Why do you hate that song?
Because it sucks.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah. That's really the only reason. And the only person who really loves that song is Kevin Spacey,
He likes that one?
because he directed a movie called Beyond the Sea. That's when he played Bobby Darin, and he went on talk shows in character as Bobby Darin and performed that song live.
Yes.
It was one of the most self-indulgent things I've ever seen an actor do.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
All right, but we check in with Killian, and his lady died just 11 weeks ago.
And his kid died that day, the first day.
Yeah, his kids died day one.
Yeah, multiple kids, right?
Yeah, so he's had it pretty rough, man. He
Yeah.
said that the wife got sick. What do you think she got sick with?
She didn't really. She died by an illness.
Yeah.
God damn, that sucks. I think he gave her gonorrhea.
Because I thought that was gonna like Jesus. I thought it was setting up something like maybe there's some sort of like virus that the aliens brought down.
Yeah, maybe.
But we never go
I
back
meant
to it.
syphilis. That's the one that. That's the one that.
Oh, that Darla.
The Darla had. Yeah, right.
Yeah. All right. All right. So then I kept track of the days, bro. Day 475.
Is that when daughter leaves?
Yeah, Deaf Girl takes off, man. And Blunt somehow convinces him to go find her.
Because he's just like the best guy, which is why I honestly thought he was gonna die. Because he seemed like just like the perfect nice guy. And I was like, there's no other resolution
Yeah,
except
they
this guy
finished
dies.
last, bro.
Exactly, he had to finish last, but no, he lives.
He
Still going.
finds her in this train where he finds her at exactly the right moment because she's being menaced by an alien.
Oh, I want to
and-
bring something up in that scene.
I do too.
Go ahead.
She shoots a shotgun with one hand, and there's no recoil whatsoever.
That's the exact thing I wanted to bring up.
Thank you. It's insane.
It's fucking insane.
It's like a 14-year-old girl shooting a shotgun with one hand. It would have knocked her teeth out.
Yeah. Well, I want to say she's not using one hand, like she's not holding it like a pistol, like out with one, but she's using like one arm, like she's using it with an arm. I want to say that. I feel like that might be
But she's
confusing.
holding it forward. She is using one hand because, like, with the other hand, she's operating that radio.
Right, but she's. I think we're talking about the same thing. I just
We
want to
are,
make it
we
more
are.
clear. But yeah, it's fucking crazy. Yeah, there's no recoil. The gun doesn't move at all. She's just like takes it like it's nothing. It's
Yeah.
She her face would come off basically if
It's
that
so
happened.
fucking dumb.
Yeah, it was the craziest thing ever.
Yeah. But Killian saves her. They hang out at a train station for a while, and he learns to enunciate.
Right,
'Cause
enunciate.
She can read lips if you enunciate enough.
Yeah, yeah. So that happens.
Right? Yeah. Meanwhile, Blunt, I didn't even understand what was happening at this part. Like I eventually figured it out. Like she's going to get medicine for her bear trap kid. But we see her like going to like the grave site, and she drops her ring there. I'm like,
Was it
why
her
she-
ring or his ring? I thought it was Dad's ring.
Oh, it might have been, but it was like she's backtracking. What? Like she goes. They had traveled far away from the farm,
Right.
and now she goes back past the farm to the farm sea. And
Right. Do we know that the farm? Well, I guess so, because that had the sand, and we ventured out past where the sand was. Now we went back to where the sand
Yeah.
trails were, because
So,
we had
like,
a trail going here.
couldn't Killian have given her like the location of a nearer pharmacy?
Right. It was crazy when we were back at the location of the grave site.
Yeah,
But
I thought that was wild.
yeah. That's
And
what she does.
meanwhile, Jupe and the baby get locked in a safe.
I thought that was actually really intense. You didn't think so?
No, I did. Yeah, when I saw the thing close without the towel, I was like, oh,
Yeah, it's really scary. And I was really impressed by him. I felt like I was running out of breath.
I
was like,
think
"Oh
you
my
have
God."
to give this kid MVP. You have said such nice things.
I'm going to. I'm going
Oh
to.
my God.
Yeah.
I think the MVP this one is Simmons, like the deaf girl. Like she's fine in the first one or whatever, but she's still like she's acting like a kid actress. Like she has more screen time in this movie than Emily Blunt, and I feel like she really carries the thing.
No, they're good. They are good.
This is the part where a dive happens. They're at the docks. They get menaced by these dudes at the docks. One of them, Scoot McNairy. I was like, hey,
Oh
Scoot.
shit! I was wondering, like, I didn't
recognized
notice
him.
any of these people.
It
but I
was
guess-
the dude with the big beard who like had her like all tied up and shit. I recognized him his eyes. I was like, those are some Scoot eyes right there.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, he's able to do the sign language thing. Dive. It's swing
Dive.
away.
So,
Swing
yeah,
away.
exactly.
And she goes in there. It's just like signs. And they take a boat and end up at this village.
Yeah, beyond the sea. We went beyond
Yeah.
the sea.
It's just like Shyamalan. He follows up this thing from Signs with the village.
And honestly, when
Come on.
he, no, you're right. When we come across this place, I was thinking the village because they're just like talking. Honestly, like it's like they were like we see them and we hear chit chat and like kids laughing from like in
Yeah.
the distance. And I had the like I was like, wait, were we in like a village universe where like in this world they can talk normal? And then Jaimon Honsu, however you say his name, I can never know. Yeah, I
Yeah.
call him Digimon. I like calling him
I
Digimon.
love to call him Digimon.
He like has a sit down with Killian and he gives him like the Jaws speech basically, and it's like you can just like talk to each other. And I really didn't like this. I had a million questions.
By the way, that was supposed to be Brian Tyree Henry. He was originally cast in that role, and then they had some sort of scheduling problems, so they had to replace him with Digimon.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Anyway,
Wasn't that the speech from Jaws though?
what does he say?
He says like we were on a boat. We had 10 boats. 10 boats went in the water. No, he doesn't say it exactly. But he kind of. I'll play the clip. So people can listen. But he says basically like the 10 boats were in the water. Only 2 came out.
Well,
They
like
had
when
the
they're talking
blackest
about
eyes.
the the USS Indianapolis.
Yeah, he does that speech. Basically.
Yeah, I guess so.
The National Guard were told to start loading people onto boats. Any boat they could find. So as soon as people saw the first one get out safe, well, everyone just started pushing forward. That's when they started screaming. They had 12 boats lined up on the dock that day. Only 2 got out.
It reminded me of Survival of the Dead.
Okay, in what way?
You know, where that's the one with the island. Like it's just like a small community on an island trying
Yeah.
to survive the zombie apocalypse.
I probably never would have thought of that again. So
Yeah, there you go. But anyway, it's like the part where the aliens come and fuck up the village is cool, but I never really understood the village.
I really hate it.
All right.
A
That
few more
doesn't
things that are
that happens
happening.
on day 476, by the way. The aliens attack the village.
Oh, great, great.
Yeah.
A few more crazy things with sound though. There's a swing in the village. Did you notice that? That's like making noise.
Yeah,
That's
it's creaking.
yeah, it's like fucking creaking. Like, are you fucking kidding me? And there's a well with a bucket and a guy.
Oh,
pulls it
that
out.
fucking bucket was so loud. I did notice that.
Yeah, it's going bang, 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 bang. It's freaking
Clanging against the well. Where the fuck are the aliens? Can they not get to the island because they can't swim, even though
Well,
they
they
can?
do attack like shortly after that. Killian comes running up, like, everybody get inside, because he sees like a boat that washed ashore.
I think that they got there by boat.
I think so. I got there.
But
on that boat.
until Killian gave them that opportunity, there were no aliens on this island. So you could just sort of like have a normal life.
Oh wait, I guess that's how they were on. I kind
Yeah.
of forgot about that whole part. They were on the island. I
Yeah.
feel kind of really stupid now. So I guess they're just able to talk because they couldn't get on from the boat.
Yeah, there are no aliens in like ear distance. So
Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. People were probably listening. Like, what is this? What did he forget? Like they're on somewhere beyond the sea. They couldn't get there. I did forget about
on the sea.
that. Sorry.
Yeah, but I don't know. So Killian fucks up this place like immediately.
Right. Yeah. Leads an alien there, and then a big alien attack. But luckily for them, did Digimon bring them like to a radio station?
Yeah, I think so.
He just like brought them to the radio
And they're
station,
the
and then he
ones that were
died?
playing Beyond the Sea, which doesn't seem helpful. Like, shouldn't they have had some sort of like loop message happening, like the French woman in Lost?
Why? That you think they were not trying to lead people there, or they were?
Well, I think they were, but
it would
they
take
were
a real
just
smart
playing
person to figure
Beyond
that
the
out.
Sea. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's like it's like a clue.
It was a big leap. once you
Don't
put it
give
together.
people clues. Just like have Digimon Hansu on the fucking radio, like on a loop that they're playing 24 hours a day, going like, "There's an island if you can get on a boat." You know, like
Yeah, I agree. It's a good point. Why make them do a clue?
yeah, like he's like the fucking Riddler.
He is the fucking Riddler. Yeah. Good point.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah. So, by the way, his death in this movie not as good as Deep Rising, right?
Oh no death is ever as good as Deep Rising. You know what's wild is like I feel like he dies in everything I've ever seen him in except for Amistad. Like he's
Oh,
like
yeah.
a slave in that one, but he survives.
That's great.
Yeah. But yeah, no, he gets axed in the head, you know, coming out of the elevator in Deep Rising. That's a classic.
Yeah, that's amazing. You spoiled
Yeah.
it for me the week I watched it. I
Oh, I'm
remember.
so sorry.
You were like, he has a great death in Deep Rising, and then I was like, I've never seen that, and you were like, oh, you got to watch it. So that week I watched it, knowing but it was like the reason I watched it was because we just talked about the death. Like, I went right
well,
into it.
whatever. It got you to watch it, and
That was
everybody
great.
should watch.
It was a
Deep
treat.
Rising. Oh,
It was a-
always a treat.
Always a treat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's great. We get so we're at the radio station and we play the song on the her cochlear thing on the radio,
Cochlear.
cochlear on the radio, and then the little boy shoots the alien.
Yeah. It's good.
It's good shit. Yeah,
She gets that going at exactly the right moment.
yeah. It's perfect.
How does the movie end? I don't even remember. Do they get reunited?
I kind of don't think so.
Yeah, it just ends there, right?
Yeah,
like you
I think
got to
so.
assume they'll find each other again, but I
Yeah,
don't know. You know, the first one has a weird ending too,
awesome.
where
ending.
you see like a million aliens come up, and
It's just,
all-
I don't think it's not a million. It's I think I counted. I'm pretty sure it's just the other two.
all right, but like she like cocks her gun, like, all right, now we're gonna go off into the world and share this information, and we're gonna like be the saviors of the world and fucking kill all the aliens. It felt like almost like at the end of Independence Day when they figure out the computer virus thing, and it's like, this is how you get the aliens. Go fucking do it right now. But like then we come into this next movie and they're just like heading out on their own. Like there's really nothing like that.
Well, they're on their way to go share it with the world. They just haven't gotten there yet. They ran into a problem the next day.
I guess so. But it felt
They
like
will in the third
they
one.
were about to just walk around with a fucking speaker, just like playing that noise all the time. Like I thought that's where it was going.
I think that was their goal, but they snuck into the fence and remember those bottles dropped, and that's why they were running. And then the fucking bear trap happened, and then it sidelined them.
So Cillian Murphy fucked him over.
He did basically. I
Maybe
think
that's why he felt bad enough to go get
Yeah.
the deaf girl. Yeah,
I
you're
think
right.
so. So it all
All
worked.
right.
So, I mean, why give it a 2?
I don't know. It probably deserves a 3.
Because I'm between a 3 and a 4, and I'm kind of having problems why I'd give it a 3 rather than a 4. Because thinking about, I liked kind of the storylines.
Maybe I'll give them both a 3, but the first one's better.
I agree.
I don't know. I see. I wasn't invested in everything that was going on in this.
Yeah,
movie.
Blunt and the Sun, you didn't like. As
Yeah,
much.
I didn't care about that. Like, if Blunt was only in the very beginning of this movie, I would have been fine. Like, I was really the Millicent Simmons and Cillian Murphy stuff. Like, mostly works for me, but you can kind of keep everything else.
Yeah. I love Blunt with blonde hair. By the way, I think I prefer blonde Blunt.
I don't know.
brunette,
Blunt
but-
always looks a little plasticky to me.
Why is that?
I'm not
I don't
sure.
think that at all.
I'm not sure. It's just a thing I have.
I never really feel that. But so my MVP, I'm kind of gonna go 4 because the thing I've been
4. You're gonna give A Quiet Place 2 a 4?
I liked the storylines. I think I liked the Son and Blunt. I liked Killian with the daughter.
What about Blunt going back to the pharmacy and all that, the grave site,
that's the worst
just
part.
backtracking weirdly?
Yeah, that's the worst part.
Yeah,
But it's the opening though.
the opening's cool.
Opening's cool, and then made me emotional, as I said, when she like really pulls through. She told her brother, "I'm gonna make it to the end, and I'm gonna play this shit on the radio, and it's gonna save you," and it actually worked.
Yeah, see, I didn't really feel anything, and then when it ended, it didn't even feel like an end to me. I was like, oh, I guess the movie's stopping.
I kind of felt that way too. But I think her take at the end of the first movie is really good. Like I imagine them shooting that and they were like, "You fucking nailed it, Emily. Great
Yeah,
job."
yeah, I
When she
agree with
cocks the
that.
shotgun.
Yeah,
it's
that's
so
cool.
They're probably like, "God damn it, lunch."
There were so many shots in A Quiet Place 2, though, where I was like, this was made for the trailer. Like, there's a shot of Krasinski standing up, like at the baseball game, like looking at the sky, and I was like, that's for the trailer. And there's
Yep.
one part where Blunt goes like, run, and I was like, that's for the trailer.
Yeah, okay, I understand those. There's another one where I felt like a lot of just like the slow shots of them walking under bridges and the camera going like from right above them to then it would like pan up as they walk. Like just a lot of those shots I know they're in the trailer, maybe that's why I associate that, but I feel like those are just like don't serve any purpose aside from being establishing shots for trailers to be like.
Well, a lot of it is Krasinski. Like, I've got some budget now, so let me get some crane shots and shit.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know, but yeah, I guess
All
I'll
right.
go 4. I don't know.
All right, I'll go 3.
I think I kind of came in expecting to do that.
I feel like the real answer is that we don't give half grades on the show, and the first movie deserves a 3.5, and the second movie deserves a 3.
Then why did I give them both a 4?
Well,
I just-
you're overrating them.
Is that what's happening here? I'm just overrating
Yes,
them.
I believe so.
And I feel like I complained way more than you, didn't I?
Yeah, I feel
I
like
think I
you
just do
did.
that. I think I just do that.
Yeah, you like to be devil's advocate for some reason, even though it's annoying to both me and the listeners.
I know. I need to stop. I do need legitimately. I do need to stop. That's like a thing. I hear the podcast and I'm like, why do I even like? I could have just like left that alone.
Yep.
But anyway,
All right. Anyway, you're still my favorite co-host, Logan.
ever?
yeah.
Or currently?
No, ever.
Don't lie to me like that.
I'm not lying to you.
Oh, come on.
I'm not lying to you. I love doing the podcast with you, Logan. You know, you've got ticks and shit that, but I'm sure I have shit about me that annoys you too.
Yeah. I just don't
all
say
right.
it. By the way, Ryder Strong, he gave the last one a 4. He didn't even bother to see this one, apparently.
Wow.
Why not?
Ryder. Well, what about Sheer? Did Paul Sheer?
Paul
see
didn't see
this?
it.
Oh,
Fuck that
yeah,
franchise.
fuck that. I'm not going back to that bullshit.
But Henry, by the way, Henry does give them both a 4, so Henry agrees with me.
Yeah, but we've stated many times on this program that Henry always gives things one more star than it probably deserves.
Yeah, that's true. Mine's all over the place. Sometimes I really overrate stuff, and sometimes I really underrate stuff.
Yeah.
You never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, you really. That's true. It depends on the day. With
It
Logan.
really does. Depends on my mood when I watch it, kind of.
Yeah.
Which is a problem. Maybe I shouldn't do that so much. But my LVP, did we go? Oh, MVP. I'm gonna go with little boy.
And I'm gonna go to little girl.
LVP, Digimon.
Digimon.
Well, actually, I wrote this down having a problem with that scene where they're all talking, but I shouldn't have a problem with that because they're allowed to.
And he's a good actor. I got no beef with Digimon, man.
Yeah, you're right. I got to find a different one. Who's yours?
The baby.
Oh, the baby. But
Yeah.
it's good acting, I think.
No, fuck that baby. I
I
feel like
really-
it often wasn't even a baby. Like it looked like a CGI baby.
Really? Because at certain
Yeah.
times I was like, how are they really putting like an oxygen mask on a baby and shutting it inside that box? Like, is that really happening in real
No,
life?
that there were shots that were just Emily Blunt holding a baby, and I was like, that's not a baby.
Well, there are certain times
Because
where she
they
was-
need the baby to be so quiet, and that's just not how babies act.
right. There's the one where she's running through the field with the baby, and I was like, what the hell? How are you running with the baby? That's
Yeah.
crazy. But a lot of times she's just holding like a blanket. What looked like I didn't
Yeah.
notice like when we're looking at a baby that it wasn't a baby. I
I'm
didn't notice.
telling you, that happened many times.
I will go. I'll go with the baby too. It's a good option.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right.
And we'll
Is
rank
that it?
them 1, 2.
1, 2, obviously.
We have some Patreon comments.
Oh, let's hear him.
William Anastasio says
One of the best, probably top 5.
probably top 5. Don't hear from him too much, but I love whenever we do. He
Absolutely.
says, does this franchise benefit specifically? To
You know what I
watching
like
it?
about William Anastasio? Every week, hey, I'm watching here. He adds some shit from that show to his watch list. I always notice.
Really?
I'm like, hell yeah, William. Love
That's
to see
cool.
it. Yeah.
So he added like Abigail from my list probably this week to watch.
No,
stuff
definitely
like that.
not. Definitely not.
Yeah. All right. Does it benefit only watching it in the theater? He says.
Yes. Yeah, I would
Well,
say so.
you say only theater. I say only. I think the first time really is what it is.
Yeah, I think that's more important. You're right.
Yeah.
Like the theater probably does help these movies, but it's not like they can't play at home. I think if you saw A Quiet Place, like the original, for the first time at home, you'd still probably have a pretty good feeling about it.
You have to let
But-
yourself though. You have to fully
Yeah.
be committed to the bit.
Yeah. Oh, he
Oh.
added. I checked for you. He added Hearts of Darkness this week because you mentioned that.
Oh wow, that actually
yeah.
makes me feel
See,
pretty good.
he always does that. I love that.
That's amazing. Thanks, William.
Mhm.
He says, I remember part 2 was the first movie that I watched in theaters post pandemic, and I think it did benefit from the staggering silence in a packed theater. So,
Yeah.
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 Well, I don't remember my first one after. Oh, I think
I
it was
only remember
Scream.
I only remember my last one before the pandemic,
Yeah, mine was
which
either
was
Cats-
Onward.
Oh, Onward.
Yeah. The one about those
I-
kids hanging out with their dad's dick.
I don't remember if mine was Cats or 1917, but it was one of
Wow.
those two.
Two luminescent films. All right.
Well, one nominated for Best Picture, one
Yeah.
not. I forgot which one though. And then Ross commented on Williams' thing and says, I find that my home theater is much quieter than the average cinema these days. My kids are properly trained to sit quiet and put their devices away. So yeah, Ross says it's more just the experience has to
I
do
think
it
Ross is
itself.
saying that his kids would have been pretty good in the Quiet Place cinematic universe.
I think that you're right about
They're
that.
trained. They're trainable to be quiet.
Yeah. They probably don't know sign language though. They probably
Yeah.
just whisper.
Get them on that, Ross. You got to start preparing these kids.
Yeah, you never know when it'll happen.
Yeah.
He says, And then Ross comments himself, says definitely style over substance in this franchise. The cinematography, framing, and audio mix are the MVPs here.
Yeah. That's right.
I enjoyed number 1 because it had original ideas and competent writing, but number 2 was just downhill and 100% unnecessary. Holy shit.
It does feel unnecessary. It doesn't even feel like A Quiet Place Part 2. It feels like, you know, when like you're into a video game and they'll like throw a little expansion pack that you can download that's optional. That kind of felt like the second movie.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I think it's like a show. It felt like episode 2 of the show or whatever. Or I don't know.
Yeah, and
like
episode 2 of the show, you basically just redo episode 1. So
wow.
It did feel like that.
He says it's clear that Krasinski needed help with not only the script but the entire concept of how to evolve a thriller franchise. Wow.
Don't question the If Man, the If Meister General.
The If Meister. He says in the first film, the monsters can pinpoint a sound from far away with crazy accuracy. This is what made them terrifying. For some reason, John decided part 2 needed to be on easy mode. Someone needed to tell him.
Yeah, it is. It's easy mode. You're right. That's funny.
Yeah, totally. Because in the first one, there's like the part where mom is in the basement with like flooded with the baby, and that she hides under the waterfall.
Yeah,
and then like the sun falls through the silo way far away, and that sound attracts that alien. Like he leaves her to go deal with him.
Yeah.
And here there's nothing really like that. I don't know.
It's true.
Number 2, desperately
you're able to just pull up a bucket that's clanking against the walls. Well, no problem.
Well, as I said, that was on an island.
I know.
Number 2 desperately needed its version of the Queen Mother, and she never showed up. Huge.
I thought about that too. Yeah, I didn't think about it in those terms, but that's smart. Yeah, like you meet the Queen alien and Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've already seen a ton of these creatures in like the first one and like the first half of this one. What if they met?
I think
like
that's the move,
another
actually.
breed of the who's like because they're
The ass
aliens,
blasters
all right? They're
version.
aliens, so they're coming down in like ships, right?
Right.
So who's driving those ships? Because these all seem like morons.
We want to meet the driver.
Yeah, I want to
In the
meet
sequel.
who's able to drive the ships.
Ooh, yeah. I do. Yeah, I think Ross is right here. I feel like we didn't really talk about that enough. Yeah, he did a bad job with the way you go next with the franchise and the myth building and everything.
Yeah,
He really fucked up.
it doesn't feel you're supposed to go slightly bigger with a sequel. And this felt almost smaller.
Yeah, it did feel smaller. Yeah, the Queen. Yeah, that's exactly what it needed. The Queen Mother.
Yeah,
Fucked up. Also, why have a cryptic song looping on the radio? Because they said
that's
it's
what
a
I was
sign.
saying.
It's a functional radio, or it's functional radio studio. You know what non-assholes would do? Broadcast a loop, letting people. Oh, he's saying do that thing. Broadcast.
It's
a loop,
exactly
letting
what I
people
said.
know that the deadly monsters can't fucking swim. Their exact GPS map location along the country. They love that.
Exactly, their exact GPS location. That's what they should have given out.
Totally. 100% right here, Ross. He says 3.5 stars for number 1, 2 stars for number 2.
Oh wow, he went even lower. All right.
Honestly, that's a serious complaint with the second one. I understand that. That might be worth going 3 just for that.
Yeah.
Legitimately. That makes no sense. Why do they do that? I don't know. And then Mikey Graff says, I saw part 1 when it was released. It was eerie to sit in a quiet theater for so long. I think it's good with a decent premise for a horror movie. I was never totally sure if part 2 was a sequel or just part of the same movie, but I watched it for the first time today and it's mostly unnecessary. Yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying.
I think that's the big knock on the second one is it just doesn't feel like something that needs to exist.
It's like El Camino of
yeah.
Can I tell you what I thought about the other day? You know what's never mentioned in a scary movie? I don't think.
What?
The Shining.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it's ever touched on.
They never did something with like the twins. They should
I
have
couldn't
done
think
it.
about it.
The scary movies would have been perfect timing to do a joke where the twins from The Shining are the Ann twins girls.
Well, is it the third one? We get Ann twins.
Oh, that's great.
We get like an Ann twins at like the radio station or whatever. It's crazy.
Classic.
But yeah, I was thinking we don't get a Here's Johnny. We don't get anything about The Shining. No, the twins. Like
they should have done it with Charlie Sheen. Here's Charlie.
Here's Charlie. I don't think there's like an all work and no play. I don't. There may be a joke about that. I don't think so though.
All right, let's move along. What else we got going here?
I guess that's it. Mikey Graff. What was the last one?
All right. Thanks everybody for listening and leaving comments on the Patreon. Patreon.com/the franchise. It's only $5 a month. This week we'll have the Sunday Night Wars coming with Beach Blast and the Great American Bash 1992 and SummerSlam 1992. And we have Buffy's Angels with Buffy, the Weight of the World, and Angel Through the Looking Glass. And we'll have our usual, hey, I'm watching here, and Comp Beasts covering the second 2 weeks of Big Brother 13.
It's the third and fourth week.
Yeah, that's why I said the second 2 weeks.
Yeah, I wouldn't know if people would understand.
All right, well, yeah. And coming out soon, He Swift, which we actually are doing.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to take a break from wrestling next week and do He Swift.
Episode 1.
Is that Taylor Swift, the album Taylor Swift?
I believe it's the self-titled, yes.